Tuesday, June 2nd, or whatever day you're watching it. We're going to continue with first section, probably start looking at lift hands, maybe stripe or shoulder. Little access training will be the fifth of the important points, and in Master's Path we're going to look at heel kicks versus those separate kicks. All right, so let's go ahead and get that in. Welcome everybody. Let's begin with some relaxed breathing. Place your feet comfortable distance apart, hands on your lower abdomen with your lips lightly sealed and teeth gently meshed together. Allow your eyes to close. Begin focusing on deep, relaxed breathing. As you breathe in, feel the abdomen go out. As you breathe out, feel it come back in. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. With each breath, begin to imagine a cascade of relaxation flowing down the body from the top of your head all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. Feel your face and jaw relax. Neck and shoulders relax. Chest and upper back relax. Shoulders and arms feel heavy. Stomach and lower back relax. Feel the flow of relaxation through your waist, into your hips, through the thighs and backs of your legs. Allow your knees to soften. Allow your calf muscles to relax, your ankles relax, and the bottoms of your feet relax. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. Next time that you breathe out, go ahead and open your eyes. We'll begin some embracing horse. Separate feet shoulder width apart. Toes turn in slightly so outside edges become parallel of your feet. Circle the arms back and around. Knees straighten the legs, lower the hands, circle the arms up, inhale. Press the palms down to exhale. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start by just running the sequence up through the end of single whip. We'll do that, I don't know, a handful of times, and then I will turn around and demonstrate. I don't have any in-person students today, so the structure's not going to be a little different. I don't have any questions here in the room, so it's up to me to figure out how to best run the class and answer what I think would be questions. Probably going to look at lift hands. I'll have to show you from the front because it's all with my back to you, and then we'll go from there. So, but let's go ahead and start from the beginning all the way through the end of single whip at least 3 times, possibly 4. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Single whip. Okay, reset. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. One more time. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Reset one more time. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Single whip. Okay, 4 times, possibly 3 times with single whip. Anyway, let's see. Questions. I did have a question or a comment on Facebook that said it looks like the press and the push are generated, like they happen after the shift, and that's absolutely correct, because there's a 10 important point called upper follows lower. So the arms never move because the arms are moving. They move because the center and your waist and your lower body has initiated that movement. So I'm going to demonstrate from the front, so you can watch me. This is the switch places with me. I'm going to do basically that same set, and I'm going to really try to emphasize that shifting and talk about how the shift generates the hand movement. Even in things like commencement, there's a little bit of a shift here. I don't want you to overwork that, but notice there's a shift which allows my arms to come up, and then I sink a little more, which is what brings my arms down. And here's ward off right. Here's ward off left. Ward off right. I'm shifting, which is what initiates the arm movement. I pull back, I shift, which is what generates the pullback with the arms. I shift, which is what starts the arm movement. Even shifting back is what creates the reset for push. And then I shift, which is what creates the push. Single whip. Let's see other things to watch out. So from single whip, shift, turn, and I'm starting that turn with my waist. I'm not doing this. Did you see the difference there where I kind of faked it with my upper body? It all is, if you've been listening to the important points, the loosen the waist, which is important point number 3. All of the movement in Tai Chi is managed and ruled by your waist, being connected to your lower body. So in a move like single whip, really work on the shift, and the waist is what brings the toes in, is what turns the arms. My waist is actually what brings these back here. Sink and step. My waist starts with this shift waist. There was another question. It looks like the hand does an arc. It does do an arc. If you're watching it come towards you, there is an arc. But it really, this is going to get a little esoteric here. I don't feel like I'm making an arc with my arm. What it feels like is I'm keeping sort of a ward-off type energy, and as I move my body, my arm changes position as a result of my shifting. That's going to be more of an orange sash and above level explanation of that. So if that makes sense, great, run with it. If it doesn't, just put it away. Don't worry about it. Okay, single whip. I think we've kind of single whipped it enough. The next move is called lift hands. I'm going to demonstrate it from the front because, like I said, so much of it happens with my back to you. Do not practice this with me because it's going to switch your directions. So just watch it a couple times. So I'm finishing from single whip, which is now facing the opposite direction, which is why I'm like, just watch. I'm going to shift back and I'm going to lower the hands. So that's the first thing. Shift, lower the hands. And these left toes come in a little bit. So shift, left toes in, come in, into about 45 degrees. I'm going to shift to that left leg. I'm going to open the arms. And I'm going to close the arms and set the right heel down. It's going to feel like playing guitar. And a lot of times you think, oh, it's just playing guitar with the other side. No, it actually, this is a different application altogether, which we may or may not talk about today. But it does a different thing than playing guitar. So again, I shift back, lower the hands, turn the left toes in. I shift to the left, I open the hands, and I'm going to close the arms as I set the right heel down. Okay? One more time, watching. Shift, lower the hands, turn the toes. Shift, open the arms, release. That's another point. Release this right heel. Close the arms, set the right heel down. Okay? So let's try that a couple times together. So we are in single whip, oriented as the form. Okay, shift back, lower the hands, turn the left toes in to about 45 degrees. Shift to the left, release the right heel, open the arms, close the arms, set the right heel down. Reset. Again, this is called lift hands. Shift back, lower the arms, turn the left toes in. Shift to the left, release the right heel, open the arms, close the arms, set the right heel down. Again, reset. Shift, toes come in. Shift, release heel, open arms, close arms, set the right heel down. One more time. Shift, lower the arms, toes come in. Shift, release the heel, open the arms, close the arms, set the right heel down. Good. I'm a big believer in knowing what the move is supposed to be doing as a help to tell your body where to go. Like, why am I doing this? So what this is someone is throwing a punch this way at me. I block the punch. Then I check the elbow, and basically it's a palm heel strike to the face. It's very hard. Breaking it down makes it seem like, how is that a thing? But it's block, hit. Don't get hit. Check the elbow, hit them in the face defensively, of course. So hopefully that kind of, because it's, whereas playing guitar is just, I get out of the way and I snap and I pop an elbow. It's got a different dynamic to it. Whereas in playing guitar, this actually is fairly simultaneous. In lift hands, it's a little different because the arms are doing different things. So again, it's block, check. It's not necessarily going to look like that when you're doing your Tai Chi form, but like I said, that always helps me understand. It'll inform my movement a little better if I know kind of what I'm doing. So punch coming, don't get hit, check their elbow, strike, palm heel, to somewhere in the face department. Okay? All right, so let's build on that. Let's start from push. We'll do single whip, lift hands a couple times. All right? So we are here in push and single whip. Lift hands. Again. Single whip. Lift hands. Feeling okay? Let's do that 2 more times. Single whip. Lift hands. One more. single whip. Lift hands. Okay. I want to go ahead and at least preview or show you strike with shoulder, which comes next. In the beginning section, we treat strike with shoulder as its own move. As you get into intermediate advanced, it sort of merges with the next move, which is white crane spreads wings, which we won't get on today. So I just kind of want to pre-frame that for you, because as you move farther up, you'll just hear senior head instructor Fig or myself say, white crane spreads wings. You're like, well, didn't you skip strike with shoulder? It's incorporated into one. But in the first section, as a beginner, we teach it separately. So strike with shoulder, it's a shoulder strike. And I'm going to show it to you from the front. So here I am, I've gotten in my lift hands. I'm going to lower the hands, but again, by turning my waist. It isn't this, where my waist stays the same. My waist turns, so I'm here, my waist turns, which is what allows my arms to come down. And, okay, I'm going to sink down, step in, step out, and then I'm going to shift forward, hand here by my shoulder, right hand protecting my groin. Strike with shoulder. And again, you wouldn't want to be doing this because it's in your face. So it's a protective kind of maneuver. All right. So again, so here I am in my lift hands. I shift to the back foot and I turn my waist, which is what lowers my hands. Sink down, step in, step out, heel toe. This isn't going to be double dragons because that doesn't make sense for my straightforward movement. Shift. Left hand here protecting my shoulder, right hand protecting my groin. The added insight that I would give on this one is, that's what I was going to say, no, not yet, is it's not, the arms don't come flush down to your body. They stay out a little bit. So I'm here, I turn my waist, they're out here. It isn't like this swoop close in, okay? I was doing that when I first learned it, and then I think I was already close to black sash. I was like, wait a minute. It's not that? No, it's not that. So I'm giving you a head start. See if you can spot the difference. So here, shift waist, sink, step, strike with shoulder, versus, I don't even know if I want to do this, but I can tell you what feels different. If I'm here, this still feels rooted and solid. Like I feel very strong. I feel very rooted. I feel like my arms aren't having to do the work. It's connected to my body as a total unit. If I break that and I scoop them down and they come real close to my body, I feel like my shoulder's going to come up, which we're going to talk about in black sash training. And I feel squished. I feel squished and not very strong or protected. So try, not now, but try it a couple times on your own when you have a minute to see if you can feel the difference between strike with shoulder, you know, more three-dimensional, versus strike with shoulder. My face should tell you everything you need to know about that. You don't want that one. All right, so you want to try it a couple times in the last couple minutes that we have? I thought you would. So let's start from single whip, the end of single whip. And let's do lift hands. So shift back, lower the hands, left toes in, shift to the left, release the right heel, open the arms, close the arms, set the right heel down. Now, shift, I mean you're already kind of on your back leg, but shift a little bit more and turn from the waist and let the arms come down. Sink down, step in, step out, heel toe. Right hand is going to be protecting your groin. Left hand is going to be kind of up here by your shoulder. Shift forward into shoulder strike. Okay? Let's do that again. Lift hands. Strike with shoulder. Turn the waist, lower the hands. Sink shift. Right hand protecting groin, left hand protecting your face and your shoulder. Okay, let's run it from the very beginning, and we will run it all the way through strike with shoulder. My expectation is that next class will kind of focus, review, lift hands, and then look at strike with shoulder into white crane spread swings. That's my theory. Unless I hear otherwise, that's my goal. All right, so from the very beginning, and remember, I will call the moves ahead of the move. So when you hear me say it, don't think you're behind. Understand that that's what's coming next. Commencement. Oh, step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Single whip. Here we are at today's material. Lift hands. Strike with shoulder, waist. Okay, release. Hopefully that's a nice chunk for you guys to practice when you're at home. Send us your questions as always. We're going to bow out of our basic training, and then we're going to work on important point number 5, which is sink shoulders and elbows. All right, so let's go ahead and bow out. We follow the 5 hearts: faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility. Bow to students watching from home. Thanks for being here. Get a drink of water, and we'll be right back out. So, this is our 5th class, so it's important point number 5. They are categorized, the first 5 tend to be pretty mechanical, physical, like head suspended, you know, closed chest, lift back, loosen my waist. Substantial and substantial, it starts to teeter on esoteric, but that still is differentiating where your weight is. It's a tangible, physical thing. We're going to do sink shoulders, drop elbows. That's also very physical. The next 5 start to get more philosophical, a little more esoteric. They're not as tangible. So they're kind of divided into those. So we're approaching the last of the obvious physical important points. So head suspended is the first one. Closed chest, lift back is the second one. Loosen the waist is the third one. Differentiate between substantial and insubstantial is the fourth one, which we did last class, which is, remember, that's knowing where your weight is. Rarely, never in Tai Chi are you what we call double weighted for any extended period of time. You're not like equally weighted on both feet, because then you're easily knocked off balance. So this last one is let the shoulders sink down and drop the elbows. Sink shoulders, drop elbows. Commentary. If I remember, this one's a little bit repetitive, like if your shoulders are up, your elbows must be up, and if your shoulders are down, your elbows must be down. I think it's one of those. Let's see if I'm right. Commentary, let the shoulders sink down. I mean, the shoulders should be loose and drop down. If you are not able to let the shoulders be loose and drop down, then the two shoulders will be sticking up. In that case, the chi will follow the shoulders and go up, and then the whole body will not have enough strength. Drop the elbows means the elbows must drop downward and be loose. If the elbows are suspended or held up, then the shoulders cannot be dropped down. You will not be able to send your opponent far. This will look like the external system's broken Jing. They kind of throw some shade at external styles, kung fu, karate, any of those types of things that use force to push an opponent. You know, we're not really into throwing styles under the bus here, but that's what he's talking about, is because sometimes they'll be like, you know, like something will be up and contained to an arm, not, you know, linked to your body. So that's kind of, they're just throwing a little like, our style's better than your style. But sink shoulders, drop elbows is important. And what it's trying to talk about as closing the chest, lift the back is as well, is trying to keep you from being top heavy. So I'm going to put that down. So how do we not get knocked over? How do we not fall over? How do we not lose our balance? How do we stay nimble but upright and you know, keep ourselves from falls or being, you know, pushed off our balance accidentally or by someone else? And it's by being rooted. And so one of the ways that you can help stay rooted is, like we said, close chest, lift back. And another primary one is the sink shoulders, drop elbows. He's basically saying, if I'm up here, try it right now. Like when I do this, my heels actually come off the ground. This is an exaggerated posture, but this is almost impossible for me to do and keep my feet fully rooted on the floor. So when I do this, I naturally come up on my toes a little bit. Not to mention, it pinches off my neck. I start to get tight in my shoulders. So we're trying to avoid that. Sink shoulders does not drop elbows does not mean I'm using these muscles to pull my shoulders down, because then I'm stuck here. So the operative word is loose. They are loose, okay? So just like you don't use excess muscle to hold your head suspended, but you keep it light and swift, you don't use a lot of muscles and force to hold your shoulders down, because that's not loose. And sink elbows, sometimes it hears like, so what, is my Tai Chi down here? No, it's not. It's proportional. So sink elbow on something like single whip, sink elbow, not here, not here. It's proportional. So my elbow is sunk and loose, but it's not down here, right? That's not right. So don't, you know, white crane spreads wings doesn't have to be, that's not right, right? It's here. But I'm not here. See the difference? My shoulder is down. So if I keep my shoulder down, my elbow's going to come down. I can't really do this without my shoulder coming up. So that's what they're talking about with sink shoulders, drop elbows. It's not forcing them down. It's keep your shoulders relaxed, loose. Loose means nimble. Nimble means swift. Swift means not going to get knocked over as much. Okay? Lose your balance. So yeah, they all kind of fit together, and the end result is to be able to stay in control and able to roll with the punches of life, of the grocery store, of tripping on your carpet at home, of, you know, a dog, you know, running up against you, whatever it is. By being relaxed helps you have those options to not end up being on the floor more than you have to be. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. So that's what why Why do we have the 10 important points? To help us get the benefits of Tai Chi that we're looking for. Of course, they refer to it in terms of working with an opponent, which it is applicable, but an opponent is sometimes, like I just said, your pet comes tearing through the house and clips you. That's, you know, a force applied to you, or grocery cart coming out at you unexpectedly. So it doesn't have to be antagonistic. It can just be stuff coming at you. But it's also about relaxing, because Tai Chi is supposed to be relaxing. I understand learning Tai Chi can be a little vexing sometimes, but the more relaxed we can be in our bodies and our minds, the more beneficial Tai Chi will be. So that's a lot of talking. I'm going to spend the next 5 or 6 minutes doing nothing but the first section of the form, thinking about sink shoulders, drop elbows at the expense of everything else, okay? Who cares if your arms and your feet don't go the right place? It's okay. Sink shoulders, drop elbows. Relaxed. All right. Follow along. I'm not going to say anything. If you're at a different pace, that's okay. Sink shoulders, drop elbows. And begin. Possibly here. I think I did all the right brush knee pushes and 2 playing guitars. I'm not 100% sure I did. And this goes back to focus, because Master Gohring yesterday, he put markers on the floor to kind of play around with spacing of students when we have more students here. And I switched my attention to that, and then I was like, did I do it? Oh no, I didn't. So that's what happened if I didn't do it right. And if I did do it right, great for multitasking. But it just shows the proof of being mindful. You know, you can't check out, or, you know, to do Tai Chi correctly, your attention has to be on Tai Chi, not your grocery list, not marks on the floor, not the email that I have to send later. So, just sharing that with my experience, that even people who've been doing this a long time lose our focus. So, don't beat yourself up when it happens to you. How did that feel? For me, I felt a more openness with my arms. Like I felt like in my ward-off energy, and particularly in my brush, white crane spreads wings, I had a relaxed openness with my arms that felt nice, that I don't always have if I'm not exclusively thinking about sink shoulders, drop elbows. Would love to hear what your observations were and your experience doing it. I'd like to run the first section one more time, and again, thinking of nothing other than sink shoulders, drop elbows. Okay? Begin. And release. Another thing I feel I can, my breathing is, I got more lung capacity when I relax my shoulders and sink my elbows. So send us what your experiences are, or if you have questions about anything from either basic training or black sash training, and obviously Master's Path once we get there, and we'll do our best to answer them either directly or on camera. And with that, let's go ahead and bow out of our black sash training to life skill is creative spirit, which is dragon. The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. Black sash training dismissed. Bound to beginner, intermediate, advanced black sash grab bag assorted students that we have at home. Thanks for being here. Get a quick drink and we'll come back out for Master's Path. or viewers still with me. So last class we talked a little bit about the separate kicks. Today I want to contrast that with the heel kicks. So in the second section of the Tai Chi form, there are those two types of kicks. Separates, which are like a loaded, when I say loaded, I mean like a weight sprung instep kick. Instep meaning top of the foot, like you were gonna kick a ball or kick upwards onto something. Now contrast that with the other kick, those are heel kicks, which would be something that you would do to break through a door or shove something away from you. So it's contacting with the heel and the bottom of your foot versus the top of the foot. And it's loaded up differently. So I'm gonna put the separates aside and we're gonna focus on the heel kicks. A word about the kicks, do not try to force height on these kicks. The way you will get proficient at them is to be balanced and to do them correctly, even if your foot is only a couple of inches off the ground. Like that's how you build up to a higher, stronger kick correctly. Because if you kind of fake it, you'll never get it correct. It'll just be faking it forever. So, that being said, because it's super tempting, like, oh, I gotta get my foot way up. No, you don't. You don't. What you want to be doing is Tai Chi. And if you end up doing this, that's not Tai Chi. So think Tai Chi first, heel height second, okay? Just bathe in that. Speaking from my own experience. But I want more. Well, you have to do it this way to get more. So I'm going to demonstrate the heel kick. And this one, the hands do cross over. So it's going to be right hand over left. And I'm going to be weighted. Just watch this one first. I'm weighted on this case, my left leg. I am bent on this left leg pretty significantly. I'm not standing straight up. That will make it way too hard. So I've got a nice sunk feeling. I've got my tuck, I've got my head suspended, and I've got my right hand over my left. I'm going to begin by raising with these wrists. And then I sort of imagine that maybe there's an invisible string that's connected to this knee. So the hands start to come up, and that brings the knee up. Then these hands are going to go out like satellite dishes, sort of. Not out here to my side, they're out in front. That's going to be my balance. And then from here, at whatever height you kick, then I extend my leg. I bring my leg back. Then I set the leg down and the arms fold back down. Okay? It is not simultaneous. It's not, woo! It's not it. There's things that happen one on top of the other to make the kick balanced. That's why it's okay if your foot only comes this far off the ground if it's balanced and sequenced correctly. So, you can try it with me if you want, or you can watch, whatever you want to do. So, I'm crouched down on my left leg, I've got my right hand over the left. I'm going to lead with the wrists, and it's going to bring the knee up. I'm going to open the arms out. Then I'm going to kick, leading with the heel. I'm going to bring the leg back. Then I'm going to lower the leg as the arms come back down. Okay? I'm going to show it to you from the side so that you can see how three-dimensional these arms are. They are not out here. If you do this, it is going to make this move so much harder. So much harder. They're out in front. Quite a bit. Okay? And these are even. Like on the separates, they were not even. So they're even and they're out in front. But, like we just talked about, sink your shoulders, drop your elbows. If they're up here, that's going to uproot you and make it hard, easier to kind of tip over. So, sink shoulders, drop elbows. So let's try it again. You can do either leg. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do this leg. If I switch legs, I'm still right over left. You don't have to worry about switching the hands. Not on this one. So lead with the wrists. Knee comes up. Arms come out for balance. Push with the heel. Leg back in. And down. Let's see. What was I going to say? I forgot. It's gone. To do it smaller, this is completely correct. Nothing wrong with that. If that's where your balance point is, or your strength or your flexibility, that's where you should be. with time, like I said, with any of these complicated moves, snake creeps down, sweep the lotus, any of the really tricky ones, by doing it correctly at a smaller or taller height or stance, that's how you get better with the long run. It's a marathon, not a sprint. All right, so I'm just going to do a few of them. Follow along or do them on your own. Switch legs, by all means, shake it out, because both legs got to work out. The standing leg is working hard, and the quad on the leg that's pushing out is working hard as well. So be sure you shake it out and don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, you set yourself up for injuries, because your form starts to lag. And when your form lags, then muscles that aren't supposed to be doing things are doing things, and that's how you hurt yourself. So don't be like me. All right, and so some heel kicks, lead with the wrists, arms out to get your balance. Now I remember what I was going to say. The kick is not straight out. It's at an angle. So they're at a kind of a 45-degree angle, not straight out in front of you. That was the thing that I forgot to say. There's a big thing, and I can't remember the thing. That was the thing. Just keep practicing. It's kind of where I have it on this leg today. A little better on that leg. Hopefully you can see, again, how three-dimensional and sequential these moves are. It isn't all at once. I sink, and then the arms come, and the arms really, they're connected to that knee, but then they come out so that I can balance here, and then they stay balanced. They stay out here for balance when I bring the foot in, and then it all sort of retracts in reverse. That was always helpful for me to understand that I'm not having to do this all at once. Because if I do that all at once, that's mechanical. That's me, almost, that's not Tai Chi. That's not rooted, connected movement from my center with my body moving as a unit. That's me telling my arm and my leg and to kind of do a thing at the same time, and I'm not very rooted or strong in that. Okay, try it a few more times on your own. Probably going to bow it a little bit early, because it's kind of one note and it hurts the legs, and you can practice your heel kicks, on your own. I got good at these, or I made a commitment to get good at these, when I was learning them as a colored sash. I'm a massage therapist, not right now, because I can't see clients. I can, but I'm not. And I would challenge myself while I was working on a client to see if I could lift this leg and stick it out and hold it and bring it back without them noticing. Yeah, stakes were pretty high, but that's how I roll. Like, throw down a challenge with pretty high stakes. But that's how I got good at this. So I'd be working on someone's neck, and I would be like, would have an elbow in something, and I would challenge myself to do my heel kicks. So you can turn it into a game while you're brushing your teeth or washing dishes. I know I say those two things a lot, because those are when I practice my Tai Chi. But find things that are non sequitur, where you can practice slowly and deliberately standing on one leg and sticking your leg out, and make it a game, make it a challenge, make it fun. I think I've even done it at the check stand at the grocery store. Kind of looking like, are y'all looking at me funny? So, really make it your own and practice it wherever you think it's fun to do that. And the more fun you make it, the more likely you are to do it, rather than like, oh, it's that thing that I do that's really hard and I'm never going to get it. So I'm going to do 2 more heel kicks, and then I'll go ahead and bow out. So remember, lead with the wrists, balance out here, don't kick higher than you can, and then bring it back. The other thing, don't lean back. Stay upright. Okay? Hopefully that helps, where you can kind of understand at least the building blocks of it. Again, Master's Path is about is about exposing you to things, not getting you to got it. Like, that's not the point. So you have a thing that you can practice that's in an advanced section of the form, so that when we get to it and we spend a day or 2 or 3 going over it, you already have a head start. So that's the point of Master's Path. So be gentle with yourselves if it's challenging, because it is challenging. And like I say, try to make it fun. Practice on your own. Send us your questions and your comments, and we We'll see you next time. All right, let's go ahead and bow out. Master's Path training is dismissed. I bow to beginner, intermediate, advanced, and or black sash class students that are watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.